Cities across northeast Indiana are leveraging public art to strengthen their identities, attract visitors, businesses, and new residents. According to a series of reports in the Journal Gazette, it's becoming part of a long-term strategy for building vibrant communities. Here to discuss his reporting is the features and engagement editor at the Journal Gazette, Corey McMakin. Welcome, Corey.
Thank you.
So you kind of looked across the region, and what did you find in this reporting on public art?
So we know a lot about what happens with public art in Fort Wayne and how we've seen benefits from public art in Fort Wayne. Other communities in Northeast Indiana are also seeing those benefits.
Yeah. So how are cities looking at it? What, like the connection between investment in public art and you know, kind of vitality of the city?
Right. They're seeing public art as a way to bring in visitors, but also to bring in new talent. So bringing in businesses and bringing in employees to their areas. It's a quality of place and quality of life element that really brings people in.
Let's talk about what's going on in some of these places. Let's start with Decatur.
Okay. Decatur Sculpture Tour, which it's entering its 15th season this year,
Oh, wow.
right? So they bring in dozens of sculptures every year to their downtown, and they're out for about 12 months and people can come. They see people coming in and spending money in their town, which is great for them. And they see people coming in not only for the sculptures, but also for music events that are happening in their area, and people deciding, hey, you know, I really like what's happening here. I want to move here.
Yeah, sculpture is just the catalyst. Kosciuszko County is also doing a lot, right?
Kosciuszko County, similar to Fort Wayne, has used public art really heavily in their branding for visitors, to get visitors in their visitors guides and on their website. And they're seeing that it brings people in, and the people are really talking about it. They're saying, hey, this is beautiful, it's colorful, we want to come back.
And they also have a digital passport. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So the digital passport for Kosciuszko County, you have it on your phone, you have it on your tablet. As you go around, you can check in at different locations. And sometimes there's even a prize if you check in at locations.
So Bluffton is part of what they're calling a rural placemaking studio at from the University of Indiana. What is that? Explain what that is exactly.
The IU Rural Placemaking Studio works with smaller communities across Indiana to create projects or to brainstorm projects. Some of them are public art, some of them are not, but they're all sort of cultural and placemaking opportunities. So for Bluffton, what they're working on is creating a program for public art. Murals, it looks like, is probably where that's going to land. That at the end of this summer, when that studio is finished, that they'll actually have a plan that they can take. They can do fundraising, they can do implementation of what that mural might look like to help activate their Parlor City Plaza downtown.
Okay. I found really interesting what you found out about Angola, and they have a couple of initiatives, but talk about the crosswalks.
So last summer, yeah, it is really interesting. Last summer, a local business in Angola sponsored 2 crosswalk murals in school zones. And what they found, the engineering department for Angola put speed readers out. So before and after those crosswalk murals were installed, they found that motorists were slowing their rate of travel by about 5 miles an hour where those crosswalk murals were. So it became this not only public art and beautification effort, but it became a real safety initiative.
Yeah, so they get quality of life and public safety.
Right.
They also have the Imagine Alley. What is that?
They have Imagine Alley in their downtown area, and it is an outdoor gallery space, really.
Oh, cool.
There's some public art that's, I believe, permanent. There's some public art that is that rotates through there. They also use it as a venue for some arts activities.
So you, in your reporting, you also talked about the long-term maintenance of these projects, right? Because it's not just enough to just get them, you know, to bring them into reality, but these things are going to be there for years and years and years. How is that considered in the initial projects? Are the artists involved in part of it? How does that work?
Maintenance is a big component that both artists and officials told me of public art. It's a big component that they need to think about not only from the beginning of the project, but all throughout a project. So artists will look at the quality of the wall if they're painting a mural, for example, that brick or that surface will need to be cleaned. It may need some mortar work. If you know, if there's some bad bricks or something there, they'll look at any wetness, leakage from the wall, that sort of thing, because of course paint won't, you know, if water gets behind paint, it'll bubble, it'll peel
Right.
away. You don't want that.
Well, also like Angola's crosswalks, you know, the wear and tear from cars going over those
sure.
things is got to be.
And snow plows and ice and that sort of thing.
Absolutely. So there's, you know, we've talked a little bit about Fort Wayne's doing so much, but they're doing something special with you, the Journal Gazette, right?
Well, the Art This Way Fest that's happening this fall will be doing at least 2 murals along Broadway. I believe that's in October. And so the Fort Wayne Newspapers building at 600 West Main Street, we are really excited that our building will be one location for a mural this fall.
Awesome. You're jumping on the trend.
We're,
By the way, do you think this trend will continue?
Oh, for sure. I think if you look at larger cities in other states, you see that public art has had an even larger impact on them. So I think we're going to continue seeing that here in Northeast Indiana.
All right, thank you so much. Very informative. You can read Corey's series on public art in the Journal Gazette at journalgazette.net. Thanks, Corey.
Thank you.